also that part you don't want.
Oh.
Yeah, right.
Also,
So-
I'm back on the vapes, everybody. I'm geeked out on the Geek Bar.
Yeah,
Shouts out
so
Geek Bar.
Chris,
Is it called the Geek Bar?
It's called a Geek Bar. Geek Bar Pulse.
That's such a good name for it. I love when it.
Look, it's got a
embraces the
little
culture
Saturn
of
on it. That's
slang.
fun. That's fun.
That is sick.
Chris took out his vape at the Nook. And I was like, this is the most insane shit I've ever seen. And then
he doing it during a set?
some other kid named John takes out his vape, and it's even more insane.
It's got like a full 4K screen on it.
Which John, is it? John Richter? Who is it?
It was. Yeah.
It was.
Oh, yeah.
He came, dude. I love him.
Yeah, it's good to
dude.
have him back around. It
He's
was nice,
fun.
yeah.
He's a fun.
But no, he
presence.
pulls.
He's like
the
me.
host?
He's gotta come and be here for whenever we.
Yes,
we
that's
get
the
Waldo.
okay. Yeah. So me and Matt, we'll throw this out to the fans. Me and Matt have this idea where there are two comics that kind of resemble us, and we think it'd be funny to have each of them play us for an episode.
For the first time that night.
Oh no, yeah, he's been around. He just left for a little while to go be a chef, and now he's back.
Be a chef where?
I'm in Baltimore or some shit like
He was
that.
just a line cook at a.
He was a
fucking
line
Wendy's.
cook. Yeah,
Yeah.
He left for
The Krabby Patty meal was too much, man. I had to get out of the industry. It was destroying me.
No, he was really cool. I liked him.
He's dope.
No.
He's a good presence. I feel like he's a very
No,
me
but
and
dude,
him
he
very
pulls out a
similar.
vape
Yeah.
that has like a full Ben saw it, like a full 4K like LCD phone screen on it.
Insane.
And I was like, "Do you
Insane.
refill that?" And he's like, "Oh no, it's disposable. You just throw it out." And I'm like,
way,
"Yo,
no
what the
way,
fuck
no
are we
way.
living in
Get
that
the
you
fuck
have
out
like
of here. You can make a screen and you dispose of the screen like that?
In the trash.
And then
a touch screen fucking
and then he was like,
disposable
"Yeah,
vape?
you can hook it up to your phone. It's got like a Bluetooth in it, so you can get your texts on the phone and text back on your fucking vape."
No.
It was bigger. It was
And
big.
you
It was like
throw
this
it
big.
away.
And you throw it
And
away.
then you throw it away.
It's like $30. You use
What,
it
does it get
for
enough of Temu? What the fuck is that?
a gas station. You spend like $30. You use it for like 2 weeks, and then you throw it out, get another one, Bluetooth connected to your phone again. There's ones you can
He's
play.
lying, dude.
Dude, that
No,
shit's
they're
no way
real.
are we living in that fucking
I
reality
Googled
right
it
now.
afterwards because I was like, we live in a hell world, and it was real. And they're making a new one that's not out yet. The same company, like Ztor or whatever it's called, some Chinese like front company, where you can
Is it Z-Tor but with an X in the front?
probably you can
Just Vitor.
I'll drop you the link. Use our promo code. And it's
Sponsored by Z-Tor.
yeah,
It's fine.
yeah. Use you should be worried. But it's like you can play games on it. Like the next one they're making, like you can play like Tetris and Snake, like all the old phone
While you
games.
vape.
So you have like 4 like of those old school phone games, like Tetris
If
and
that's
shit.
happening and that
And then you
does-
throw it out.
Exactly. If that becomes popular because people want that, what's going to end up happening in the future is they're going to start making iPhones and Androids with fucking vapes built into them,
Yeah.
which is crazy.
You just have like a Caliburn.
yeah, just sipping from the top of your fucking thing, off the top of the camera.
You
on
got a
your phone.
Caliburn G attached to the back of your phone. You just,
That's nuts.
okay,
dude.
think about this. If you put a vape in your iPhone and then you also connect Apple Pay, that's the only thing you need to carry around in your pocket.
That's it.
Keys
All
and
in
that.
one, baby.
If you somehow,
I don't like that vape is going to be something that people need in their pockets all the time.
I'm living that life right now.
I know, dude. I don't want that to become a fucking.
I want to go back to Zyn, but
I prefer cigarettes and lighters, dude.
well, dude,
I think it's so much cooler.
they're so much cooler.
I don't think you should smoke at all, but
Every time I smoke this, I know I look gay as hell, dude. When I smoke a cigarette, if I was attractive, it'd be cool. But
Yeah.
like in theory, there's a way it could be cool. Even if I was attractive smoking this, I'd still look gay as hell.
I don't even know what that looks like. What is that? It's kind of like what does it remind you of? Like a little Tamagotchi kind
You know
of
what
thing?
it reminds me of? It reminds me of an AirPods case,
Right?
right? Like when people put the little covers on their AirPods case, I feel like I got the coolest AirPods.
But instead of getting the benefit of like listening to music,
Yeah.
you get the not benefit of getting
Oh,
fucking
well,
cancer.
check this out. So, when you smoke it, a little rocket ship shows up.
Yeah, see, what is it with these digital screens on a vape? That's a disposable.
Yeah, the rocket ship means nothing. I looked it up. It's just there. It's just cool.
What the fuck?
It just shows. Yep, you're vaping.
Oh
It's just like, yep, no, the vapes. You're vaping.
We are
worked.
on and we are ready to go.
The vape worked.
The rocket is there to let you know that we're killing you.
Oh, guys, also big update for the boys gaming, dude.
Okay.
We can start a Twitch channel now because I went. I
I
actually.
mean, we can start now.
Well, listen, because come on, you need me to carry the thing. It's
Yeah.
not. I'm gonna be screaming.
That's
You
true.
need me
Yeah, that's-
screaming,
that
dude.
is
I'm gonna be
true,
the worst player, and that's gonna be the funniest part. Is you guys bullying me for being the worst player.
Right,
That's gonna
right,
be the
right.
whole shtick.
Yes.
But so I went over to see my friends. Shouts out my friends. They don't do social media because they're healthy, normal adults. So I don't have anything to plug for them. But I would, because that's how I show love. Because I'm messed up.
Yeah.
So I will just plug you if I love you. Anyone you see me tagging on my Instagram, I love them. And I don't know how to express it. But I went over to hang out. And there was this, I had like weird vibes about the hangout. Like they were being like kind of like, I don't know, like leaving out details and being kind of like quiet about it. I was like, what's going on? Am I getting ambushed with something? Like, what's going on? Is there like some heavy topic? It's like a intervention, but like, I'm already sober. What would it be for?
Yeah.
And then I show up and they're being kind of weird. And then my buddy Jake's like, hey man, we got to talk to you about something. I'm like, oh fuck, like
What?
did someone die? Like what's happening? They're like, yeah, so, we play video games together. I'm like, yeah? Like, am I getting kicked out of the Bridgeport Dog Pound, the best Dota clan there is? I'm like, I know. Our mascot, by the way, is Cumlord. You guys remember Cumlord, the little white dog?
No.
He was like back in like 2014. He was really popular on like early Instagram reels. Where just this little white Pomeranian, like, and it was named Cumlord. And this guy would be like, Cumlord, come here, Cumlord.
I've never seen that.
I'll send you. He's hilarious. But so that's our symbol, is the little white Pomeranian Cumlord.
Okay.
And yeah, look, there's Cumlord. I love him.
Do they call him Cumlord in the video?
Yeah, that's his name. The guy named his dog Cumlord.
Dog like that, Cumlord.
Yeah.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah. That's insane.
So I'm like, am I getting kicked? I know I'm by far the worst player. Like, you look at all my stats.
Yeah.
I have the lowest GPM. I have the lowest DPS. I'm consistently ranked the worst player in the lobby. I'm like, but like, I can change. I'll fix myself. Like,
But I'm here for the vibes.
yeah, when you're trying to get a girl not to break up with you, like, I can change. I can be better. So I was getting ready for that, and then they're like, yeah, so we play video games. Like, yeah. And they're like, you know how your computer is always crashing, you're always lagging out? I'm like, yeah. They're like, well, we're sick of it. I'm like, oh, fuck. And they're like, so we built you this new computer. I was like, what?
No.
So this was so heartwarming. They're big computer guys, so they like update their system like every year.
Yeah.
So they have all these extra parts that they hang on to just cause. What do you do with them? So they got together and put together, like, oh, I have one of them. It's like, oh, I have the motherboard. Another one's like, I have the GPU. I have a case, and they all came together and built me like a Frankenstein computer.
Holy
that's
shit.
way better than anything I've ever used. And it was just really a sweet moment.
No way.
And I felt
dude.
very loved and cared for. So thank you guys. I know
Whoa.
you don't watch the podcast, but
How
if you
often
do,
you talk to these people?
I probably talk to them every day.
Dude, when
We
you
have a
like
group
play
chat.
video games with people and you do it for so long, like there's been times where like I'm like, Jared, I will buy Call of Duty for you. Don't just hold out on me like.
Well, because I was also doing the thing where, because you guys know on the podcast, I blew all my money going to Scotland, so I'm economically not in the best place right now,
Right.
and they know it, so they just didn't bring it up. They're just like, yeah, we just had it lying around. I'm like, oh, you guys know I'm poor, but are letting me keep my dignity. Thank you. Aww. So it was very sweet.
I love that.
And so shouts out to my friends. Sometimes
That
Chris
happened
has
recently?
so many
What?
friends.
That happened recently?
that happened yesterday.
Dude, so now you don't have a shit computer anymore?
No, it's like really good.
Well, what is your graphics card now?
I don't know, but it's like this big.
That's so sick. Let's
Can we
go.
talk about how many
go.
Like my
friends
friend
Chris
just
has?
replaced his graphics card yesterday. Not yesterday.
Did they upgrade your storage?
Everything.
You got to get COD now.
Like literally all
have no
they
excuse.
they're like, all you have to do is we have to
Me,
go
'cause
to
you're not gonna be good at it.
because the hard drive they wanted to use like was bricked. They didn't realize, so they're like, we just have to go to Best Buy, and if you just buy like $100 hard drive, the rest is yours. I'm like, okay.
Dude.
And I'm out in the
let's
parking
go.
lot checking my Wells Fargo. It's like, I got $100. It's like, no, yeah, I can totally, yeah, no, that's fine. You guys give me so much, I can totally. That's easy. Like, of course I can do that.
It's the most money ever.
The most money I've ever spent in my life.
That's so funny.
And so yeah,
So now we can start our Twitch channel, you said.
yeah, so now we can start a Twitch channel. I'm never gonna play with them again. It's only Fortnite with the boys, dude. Dota's dead. I can play real games now.
No one here is playing Fortnite anymore for a while.
What are we playing now?
Dude,
we're
all
playing
on COD. You have
new
to.
I can
COD.
get it now. It'll run
Black
it.
Ops 6. Black
We're all
Ops
on.
6.
Yeah, so that was very nice. Sometimes I get in my head
Which
and
is
I get all
nuts.
paranoid and I think everything's awful and I'm alone in this world. And I got to remind myself I'm cared for and I'm loved by a lot of wonderful people.
Yeah, dude, you do.
know?
You have a lot of friends.
Yeah, dude. What
You
the
have
fuck's up
way more friends than I do. You know? Like, fuck, it's crazy.
I'm just old.
I have like this group, whatever this is, and then I have like Darius.
Love Darius.
But then like I consider myself like I'm still friends with like people like Richie and stuff like that, but I don't talk to him like a lot ever. I talk to you guys the
Dude,
most.
That's how it is with me as well. I'm like, my friends, if I think about it, are you guys, Jared and Evan.
right.
Those are my
then-
friends.
That's
like, you have
honestly
other people-
an elite squad.
Like there's other people in your life like Ryan that like, you consider a really good
Dude.
friend. It's like we don't talk to
we
Ryan
just
every
don't
day.
talk as much as we used
Why
to.
do you talk to everybody that you're friends with every single day? What is that?
You know, so
I
this
actually do talk to Ryan and Liam a lot.
so
more
so
than I
this
Okay.
is this is
Thank you.
this is
Not helping.
and I used to be like that where I would have people that like I'm close with. Like if we saw each other, it'd be like we just hung out yesterday, but then I wouldn't
Yeah.
talk to them for like a year or a couple months.
Right.
And then actually, shouts out Mustafa Musa, very funny comic. Good friend of mine.
Very good boy.
He doesn't believe in texting. I don't know if you've ever. He does. Our friend
Yeah, he
Mustafa,
just
very
calls.
funny comedian, cool guy, having fun on Instagram. Go follow him. That's how I show my love. And he would just call me all the time because he doesn't believe in texting. So even if it's like a one-word answer he needs out of me, like a yes or no, he'll just call, hey, yes or no on this. Yes. Okay, cool. Hang up.
Yeah.
And it made me get in the, because I used to be like scared, not scared of the phone, but like, I don't want to, the
Oh
anxiety.
yeah. No, I definitely
And
was.
then-
I was scared. Yeah,
And
for
then
sure.
he started calling me all the time, and I realized like, oh, this is actually a better way to communicate. So then when I would be driving,
Because kind of like you're there with them.
yeah. And
In
it was
text,
also
it's not like that
and it
at
was
all.
also so nice to just randomly, because if you don't call someone for a long time, it's got to be this long, drawn out like hours of conversation to catch up on your entire life.
Yeah.
Whereas that, because I talk to them all the time, it can be a 3-minute conversation and no one's feelings are hurt because it's just like, okay, we're just real quick, boom. And then that got me in the mindset of like, oh, the phone's like a cool tool to use. And then also in addition to AA, where I have to call like at least 5 people every day just to check
Yeah.
in, and that's like even sometimes a 1 minute we're good or someone's having a problem, we talk it out.
Right.
And then I was like, why don't I just apply this to like the rest of my life? And because I drive so much, because we're always doing comedy and I'm always going places.
Yeah.
I don't listen to podcasts in the car. I don't listen to music in the car. I pretty much exclusively call people when I'm in the car.
Wow.
So I'll do an hour drive and I'll hit like 6 phone calls just
Sick
check in
though,
with people.
because that's also cool because like I know when I'm doing comedy, like the way I get most of, I know you're not doing it for comedic reasons at all, but it's like when I get most of my ideas from talking to other people.
Yeah.
Like I have a really hard time sitting down and trying to just write off of like my whatever the fuck. So like when you're talking to other people, that's when you get those ideas and shit. And I'm not talking to people like that. That's crazy.
Yeah, so if you're in your head like, oh, I shouldn't bother this person, think about it on the other end. If someone from college, your college roommate who you haven't talked to in a while, if he called you out of nowhere, not with anything in particular, just like, hey man, how you doing? Just want to catch up.
you feel so good,
That'd be nice.
it'd be so nice.
You can be that for someone else on the other end.
right.
Uh,
Damn, dude, that's so fucking cool. I feel like a lot of kids, once kids realize that that's actually a really fun way to communicate with people and then like a real fun way to live life just by calling people instead of texting.
Yeah.
I would love to see a fucking trend happen where people just start like calling up their friends instead of texting just like for the vibes.
no, it's better vibes.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
I'm trying to break Matt into the phone calls. We're getting him
No,
adjusted.
I call, yeah.
You're much better about
I
it now.
definitely love calling
You used to be like, why the fuck are you calling
every now and then
me?
I'll call Ben and Ben won't pick up. Ben's like, what? What do you want? Just text me. And same with fucking with Mustafa. I know he definitely is a caller. He calls me and I talk to, I never text Mike. I call Mike all the time.
Mike won't
Massaro.
respond to texts.
Yeah.
Which I kind of love about him. It's a little annoying when you got to like plan stuff and you're busy, but it is nice that it's just like it forces me to call him like every other day. And so I just keep in touch. You know?
I was hanging with Mustafa recently, and he was talking about how much Mike has like kind of grown and like how he's like crushing now.
Yeah, Mike's
I'm like,
killing it.
Damn, dude. Everybody seems just to be fucking such another level than a year ago. Like it seems like you've been doing comedy what for 5 years now, maybe
Yeah, 5 years. It was
maybe
5
what,
years in
maybe
August.
6 or what?
No, it was 5. My anniversary of my 5th year of comedy, because I remember the exact
August,
date.
you said.
August 20th was the first time I ever did an open mic. And then I didn't do that thing where I like do an open mic and then, fuck around. Like I went first open mic to doing it like several times a week every week.
I don't know how much in your career you felt like you were stagnant, but it does seem like this past year, almost everybody in like kind of our circle has gone a little bit further with their career.
Well, and I think it's also helpful that this is the first time in comedy I've really felt this.
Yeah.
Where it's like we have a solid group of people that I like all of you guys as people.
Yeah.
And as I would be friends with you guys regardless of comedy, you know what I mean? And then it's also, I respect all you guys as comics where you're all funny. And like, if anyone asked, hey, is this person good? I could wholeheartedly say, yeah, they're fucking hilarious.
Yeah.
Like I would recommend you guys for anything I would recommend myself for. I would never be like, oh, they can't handle. You know what I mean?
Right.
And so it's like we have all these really funny, inspiring, creative people who I love hanging out with and talking to. And I think we all build each other up and kind of like push each other to be better. That's the other thing is like, you'll get on me sometimes, which I appreciate. Like, hey man, what's up with the social media? You're not, you guys don't want to be famous.
yeah,
You just
no,
don't want to
right.
post. No, it's cool if you don't want
I just
to.
know what gets on your skin.
No, but I need that sometimes
Of course,
because I'll have a
of course.
week where I'm just like busy with other stuff. And I'm like, I'll post next week. And then I see you and you're like, no post this week. What was it? And then I'm like, fuck, it's annoying, but it's like, fuck, he's right. You know what I mean? And and I don't know, maybe without that, I would go more weeks without posting, and
Right,
then
yeah,
and then that builds into bad habits, and who knows?
Yeah, I totally agree.
Friendship is important.
I think, yeah, and I do wholeheartedly believe in only being friends with people who are going to check you up. Like they're going to make sure that you're doing what you want to be doing.
Yeah,
like it's a form of support. I would never be like, what's going on? Like you're not doing what you said you were doing. Just to like fuck with you, if you tomorrow were like, I'm done, I don't want to make videos anymore on social media, I would have my own opinions about it, because I think that it's for what we're trying to do in our life, it is important.
You have
but
to.
like say tomorrow you're like, literally I can't do it, like it's fucking with my mental health, I can't post on social media anymore, I would no longer be like, oh, you're not gonna post today. Like, I would stop doing that. The only reason I do that to you is because I know you you wanna be putting stuff out there, and like if you missed a week, I'm gonna be like, what the fuck's your problem?
And I appreciate that.
Of course.
And here's the thing too, you don't have to be doing this, like, so this works with comedy. You can do that with your friends that aren't doing the same thing.
Right.
Like my friend who's in the Navy, we have completely different life tracks.
Yeah.
He'll check up on me and be like, hey man, you getting after comedy?
Yeah.
And I'm like, yeah. And he's like, not doing shows? He's like, what the fuck? Like, he doesn't even understand how it works, but he knows I should be doing shows every week. It's like, fucking call someone, get on that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then I'll do the same to him. I don't understand his industry at all, but he's like, yeah, I'm not sure if I want to like take this extra. I don't think it's a full deployment, but whatever, like the extra job on the ship, because it'll be more like, oh, so we don't want to be an admiral anymore. Okay, no, that's cool. You can be a lieutenant the rest of your life. I'll still love you. And he's like, fine, you're right. It's like we don't know how each other's lives really work.
Yeah,
but we know enough to like push each other, and it's really nice.
That's sick.
He actually just that same friend just sent me he's in Bahrain, like one of those little oil countries in the Middle East.
Okay.
He's out there doing like military stuff. Shouts out the troops. And he just messages me on WhatsApp, go to your mailbox right now. And I was like, okay. And I go to my mailbox. He sent me a little postcard of these two like sheikhs, like, with the head thing, like the Saudi Arabian princes, like drinking coffee.
6
Sheikhs, I think they're called.
SIK.
Sheikh, Shak.
Okay.
Whatever the like
Sikhs.
Saudi. No, that's a religion.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you.
And he's like, this is you and me. This is you and me drinking coffee back in the Monroe house.
Takes an actual photo of people and then just memes, put a meme on it.
And that's because that's just, we used to, for like a year, after college, we lived together in Monroe. And we used to, he'd do this elaborate thing where he made Turkish coffee, which requires all this extra steps, and we drink coffee every morning and smoke cigarettes. And I was just like, see, that's like fun stuff you got to do with your friends.
Every once in a while, send him a postcard with a meme on it.
Just randomly sent me a postcard, just thinking about you. I was like, oh, that's nice.
So good. I love that.
I hope a war doesn't happen in the Middle East, dude. Don't blow up my boy Will.
Please don't blow up my boy
Honestly,
Will.
more accurately, don't let Will get you. Dude, he's not losing that war.
Fuck.
Bro is locked in.
If you're in his sights, you're done for.
Yeah, Iran, if you want to fuck around, dude, we're dropping Will on you. It's going to be over.
That's so good.
He's also my friend that when we lived together, honestly, it was probably the best roommate situation because we were both very different, so we didn't clash at all in terms of like how we wanted to live in the house.
Okay.
Like there was like what I wanted to do and what he wanted to do didn't like conflict.
Yeah.
So what he wanted the garage for a gym, and I was like, I don't use the garage for it. You can have it. Like that's cool. Like shit like that. It's like, yeah, I don't give a shit.
Yeah.
And so what he would do is he would drink a gallon of milk every day. First thing in the morning.
Sounds like my kind of guy.
He'd drink his coffee and then drink an entire gallon of milk. And then he would go out in the garage and just lift weights for like 3 hours. That's all he would fucking do. And just get fucking jacked. Like, remember we were talking about the Marine build? Like, bro had the Marine build.
What's the reason for the drinking of the milk?
Because he did, yeah. Because he needed a certain amount of protein every day to maintain his muscles.
Milk has protein in it?
Milk has a ton of, so it was the easiest way to get that much protein in your body at once, was to just drink a gallon of milk. It's called GoMad.
Is it because it comes from an animal that it has protein in it?
Yeah,
think?
it's protein for the baby cows, so they can grow up strong.
That's
and then
true.
Will's just fucking crushing the milk and then working out.
Cows are for teenagers. Protein.
And then yeah, and then he would just every morning. I think I mentioned this on the podcast. He would get up early because when he wasn't on deployment, he wasn't working, right? Because that's how it works. So he'd have like a month off, just chilling, and I would have to wake up from my corporate job. and he would get up. He had no reason to get up early. He would get up early, make coffee, and just stand there in his boxers, just jacked with the coffee.
I just watch you leave
And
for work.
he would sit. he would literally stand in the kitchen like this and just sip the coffee, and I would be like stumbling out because I'm hungover. I was an alcoholic, and I'm hungover. I haven't showered. I'm like tying the tie and like running out. I'm late already, and I'm going. So the door's here, the kitchen's here. He's here. I'm going towards the door. So I step down the stairs and I go to turn to the door, and from behind me, I'm like, hey. And I just turn around and it's just him and his boxers drinking the coffee. He's like, I hope something terrible happens to you today. And then he put down the coffee and go back to bed.
As a joke?
As a joke. He would do that to me every day. Like, that was our thing. He would literally set his alarm 30 minutes before he knew I was going to be up just to do that. Funniest thing on earth.
That's so
Funniest
funny.
thing on earth. Just hungover.
Get the fuck out of
just
here.
hungover out of my mind.
I
Just,
love
hey,
that.
I hope something horrible happens to you today. Dude, Will is low-key one of the funniest human beings on earth, has no interest in doing comedy or being famous.
Jesus Christ.
But
being that committed to the bit that he destroys his REM cycle sleep or whatever the fuck, like gets in his own way, wakes up just for a joke.
Yeah, and that's
Nuts.
why he sent me that postcard to remind me of those times.
It's so
It was great.
so
Yeah.
good.
Hilarious.
I've never been that kind of friend. I've never had that kind of friend. That's so fucking funny. That's hilarious.
Well, we also like grew up together. Like, we've known each other since we were like 12 or
Still.
13 or whatever.
Still, setting your alarm
Yeah.
for a fucking joke?
So funny.
Holy shit. Stands there drinking a cup of, what, you said coffee?
Yeah,
And then he goes back to bed?
And then he would put the coffee down and walk back up the stairs into his bedroom, clearly to go back to bed. Like, he had only gotten up to do that.
Bro makes coffee just to set it down on the table.
The great commitment to the bit.
That's so good.
Yeah.
That's so funny.
And then he'd drink a gallon of milk and lift weights all day, and now he's defending our freedom, dude. Will's the man.
See, when I drink a gallon of milk, is because I like the taste of milk. I'm not doing it for the proteins or anything like that. You know what? You ever fucking, well, you haven't, but sometimes, I think I've talked to you about this. There'll be mornings that I wake up and I'm afraid to get out of bed because I'm so terrified that, like, this is the morning that my legs break free.
They just snap like a chicken. Just
yeah, backwards.
like you did a leg press that was too heavy on those machines. You're fucking...
Yeah. And it's like that's
Tina!
That's
Tina!
that's my genuine fear some mornings. But then I remember I'm like, oh, I drank like half a gallon of milk last night. My bones are strong as fuck.
Yeah, you're
and
good.
That gets me from my bed to my bathroom. And once I pee, I'm like, okay, I'm ready to
good.
fucking, I can run. I can run now.
You got to start wearing those knee braces like linebackers wear, you know?
Yeah.
Because they're just too musty. They got to like, so their like muscles don't pop their knee out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Fuck. So that was great. I told them, Corey and Marcus, when I was out in fucking LA about that shit. They thought it was funny as fuck.
You should do a bit about that.
No, because I don't want to do more fat material.
Oh, you know what? I respect that.
I love
that.
this whole like new thing that I'm doing. Ben told me last night that I might venture a little too much into like just like saying what I think is something that isn't actually what it is.
Yeah.
And what I should be doing instead is like kind of taking some of that and turning them into actual like longer stories.
Yeah.
Where I show you that I'm dumb instead of just telling you that I'm dumb.
Oh, dude. So my new job.
Yes. I haven't been around since you've been started to talk about this.
Yeah.
Please.
So my new job, he made a grown man cry, dude. My boss made a grown man cry.
Yeah.
Which is more like, I gotta get the fuck out of here because I cry easy. I will cry.
But it's like, you said he's an Italian man?
He's an Italian man from Boston. So he's got two aggressive cultures mixing around in him.
That just replaces people who don't vibe, who
yeah.
don't match his
We'll
vibe.
just fire someone on the spot.
Fuck.
So I was telling Ben about this guy.
I kind of love this guy, dude.
Yeah.
He's my favorite person.
So I was telling Ben about what happened, and I won't share the name of the coworker because he's a nice guy. But this guy is like, we'll call him Z.
Okay.
Right. So Z is working on the sales report. So you're supposed to submit a sales report of like what you have in the pipeline, what deals you think are going to close, how much they're worth, what the chances are, all that stuff.
Right.
And most companies do a very simple, straightforward sales report. You know, just plug this in here and easy. Ours is needlessly it makes no fucking sense.
Yeah.
I won't get it if you haven't been in like corporate America or sales, like the number, it doesn't matter. Just the things are confusing. And so he does it and he checks with our manager like 4 times. Hey, can you look over? Can you make sure this is right? He's like, yeah, no, it looks right. Okay. He submits it. About 5 minutes later, because like if my desk is here, Z is behind me, and where you are is the boss's office, which is just a big glass wall.
So boss can look at you all day.
He does. All day.
No, to make sure you're working and
Yeah,
shit.
yeah.
Can he see your screen or no?
Probably has a software that can, yeah. 100% he has. So he.
So you feel like when you're at work, you have to work.
I hate it. I hate it. So he submits the sales report.
Yep.
And 5 minutes later, I hear, "What the fuck?" come out of the close off.
No.
Dude, hand on God.
No.
This man is insane. So he gets up, opens his fucking sliding glass door,
Yeah.
which doesn't reduce noise that much. And he's like, "Fuck, Z, come in here right now." He's like, "Well, I know you fucking submitted the sales report. It's wrong. We need to get in here right now." And so he's like, goes in there. And dude, the boss starts laying into this guy. Like the door's closed, but you can hear. It's like a little muffled, but you can hear it. He's like, "What the fuck is this? This is not what I asked. You don't have this. You don't have that. You put in that. I don't even care about this information. Why the fuck is that in there? That's bullshit." I don't
Being
need
like
to say.
extra mean for no reason.
Extra mean.
You think he's on drugs or what?
I think he's just angry. So he does this for like 3 minutes.
Yeah.
Dresses this guy down. And then Z opens the door. He's like, "Go fix it and send it back to me in an hour." And the guy comes back and he sits down at his desk. And he looks, I'm like, "Hey, Z, are you okay?" He's like, I'm fine. Like choking up.
Yeah.
He sits down at his desk and I hear him crying. Like not like loud. Like I hear this guy who is but like in his 40s.
Please,
like he's significantly older than me. Like a full-grown, probably 45-year-old man is
Chris is sitting at his desk like,
is just fucking
does not want to say anything.
Like Minesweeper.
You just hear the sniffling, the like, you know, he's like trying to, you hear like the that breath people are like when they're like trying not to cry. I just hear that and I hear and I'm just like, oh my, I'm like, oh my God. And so I turn to my manager later after Z excuses himself to go to the bathroom and probably like cry. And I'm like, "Hey man, you said Z did the report right. What happened?" He's like, "Oh, he did."
No, he didn't. No. Is this real? This is 100% real?
It's all 100% real. And I go, "Why is he so mad?" It's like, "Oh yeah, the boss just kind of changes how he wants things and he doesn't always communicate it."
Fuck.
He's like, every month the sales report is basically different in how he wants you to set up the information. He gets very mad if you don't follow it.
Dude.
So he's like, check your email every day. If you miss one email, you will do it wrong, and that will happen to you. And I'm like, okay. Because my manager's cool. My manager's fine. He's a cool bro. He understands how fucked the system is. I think quietly he's trying to get out too.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But it's just like, that is crazy.
If a boss wants a sales report different so often, that's definitely, you got to be careful, dude.
Why wouldn't he yell at the manager?
That also, yes.
Why would he yell at the guy below the manager?
100%.
The manager said that was okay.
Manager's in charge of the people below the manager.
You
boss
would
is in charge of the manager.
The whole time I was getting
100%.
yelled at, I would have been like,
Yeah.
He said,
yeah.
I would have pointed. Yeah, exactly. You should have just been like, tell your manager.
Dude, like,
so I submitted my first sales report this week. I have not been yelled at yet.
Yeah.
Because I strategically waited till 4:55 to submit it and then left at 5 o'clock. So there would be no window.
Beautiful.
And the boss had gone home early at like 3 o'clock. So I'm like, I'm not answering his calls on the weekend.
Of course.
So I just leave. And hopefully on Monday, because it's going to be a team meeting, hopefully I don't get berated in front of everybody.
Fuck.
Which may happen.
Oh my God.
How
so
come?
Scary.
So that was, so I need to get out of that job quick.
What's up, Jader?
It did,
Jader, man.
Jader. It did, this place does somewhat remind me of, like one of my first jobs when I was like 19 or 20.
Yeah.
Like in the summers from college, I would work at this place. So one of my like drug friends got a job at this place, and then he got everyone else jobs at the place. It was like one of those things where they like recommend everyone. So then we all like, it was me and like my my three like drug buddies.
Yes.
Working there.
This is the place in Shelton?
No, so this is this is like way before that. This is when I was like 19.
Okay.
It was this place in Bethel.
All right.
And it was like in a condo complex.
Mm-hmm.
This guy just turned one of the condos into like this weird call center. I'm pretty sure he didn't have permits or anything.
Yeah.
And we were literally running a scam. Like I was a telemarketer for a straight up scam, and he was open about it. He's like, "We are scamming people." And I'm like, "I'm 19 and I need money for Xanax." So okay. We do what we gotta do.
Yeah.
So what we would do is we would call people we would get contracts from companies to do surveys. So like we'd get the last one I did when I was working there, because I worked there on the summers for like 2 or 3 years because it was really good money.
Yeah.
I mean, prospectively when I was 19. And so what you do is like a vinyl siding company that makes like vinyl siding you put on like the side of the house would contract us to reach out to like a bunch of people that do siding for houses, like a bunch of contractors, and do surveys, get them to do surveys of what their favorite vinyl, like all the things they liked or disliked about different vinyl sidings, so that the company could better like market their product or whatever, like change their product, you know? And the thing we would promise them first thing on the phone is like, yeah, if you stay, we're going to send you a $100 gift card to Home Depot or whatever to like, thank you for your time.
Okay.
There were no gift cards.
Okay, 0.
The company, the vinyl siding company, never told us they were gift cards. The guy who ran it, Bob was his name,
Yeah.
just said, no one's going to do the survey unless you lie. Just tell them there's a gift card.
What?
Yeah, so we would straight up scam. We'd take these contractors would be on the phone with us for like an hour with the promise of like $100, $200 like gift card, and then we'd take their address and we would never get sent out.
Holy shit.
But that was our job. We would do that, and you'd make so much money because for every you got paid the base, which was nothing, but then for every survey completed, you got like $50 or something.
Yeah.
So like I'm 19, that's a lot of money. So I would do a ton of them. I'd do like 5 of them. I'd make like $300 in a day. You know, which is like when you're a drug addict, that's like we're gonna have a good, and we'd spend it all that night. By the way,
Jesus
we would make
Christ.
$300. We'd spend all of
You
it
living
on
like fucking
bullshit.
kings and shit?
No, we were drug addicts. So it's like, oh, we each made like $200 tonight. Let's go get as much Xanax as we can get our hands on. Let's get as much weed as we can get our hands on. Let's get as much booze as we can get our
That
hands
can't
on.
kill you. $200 worth of alcohol and drugs a night won't kill you.
I think I'm living evidence that it won't. I mean, eventually on a long enough timeline, but you can do it for a while. Yeah.
Holy shit.
Yeah. No, I probably had a point back then when I was like 19, 20, 21, like when I was doing a lot, when my whole life was that, because I was just in college and then doing weird scam jobs for Bob.
Yeah, that's nuts.
I would probably spend like $100 a day because, you know, it's not just so you smoke like maybe 2 grams of weed throughout the day because I'm constantly high. So I'm constantly like ducking out to hit a bowl or like smoke joints. So that's like $20, $25 right there.
Yeah.
Then you have, I got to do dabs because by the end of the day, my tolerance is so high that I can only get high doing dabs. And dabs were expensive back then because no one knew what they were. I was on like the first wave of dab heads.
Yeah.
So you'd have to pay a guy to ship them out from Colorado where they actually made them
Dab heads.
and like sneak it through customs and get it over here. So then dabs for like back then, I mean, back then it was like $100 for a gram of dabs.
Yeah.
And I would probably go through half a gram of dabs a night.
Okay.
So I'm smoking the weed during the day, then I'm doing half a gram of dabs at night, and then I would want like 2 or 3 Xanax at least, and those back then were like $10 a pill, so that's another $30. And then I want to drink. I'm not going to not drink. So then, you know, if we're going to the bar, you know, this is later when I was like 21. If we're going to the bar, I'm going to have like 6 or 7 drinks at a bar. Those are each what, like
Jeez.
$10, $12. Then I'm going to tip because I'm drunk and I think I'm the man, so I'm going to tip. And
Yeah.
then we're going to go.
All the money's just gone.
Yeah, and then we're going to go get like $20 worth of gas station snacks because I'm high. So I'm just buying bags of Sour Patch Kids and iced tea and all that shit. And that adds up. Yeah, it's like $200 right there.
Jesus.
And that's just how I lived my life for like 6 years.
Crazy shit.
Yeah.
Do you regret it?
No,
It's fun times.
I wouldn't recommend. I don't think anyone should do it.
Yeah.
I don't think it was a positive thing I was doing, but it brought me to where I am now, and I clearly needed to go through that and learn
that's
those
true.
lessons
That's true.
because it brought me low enough that I was able to humble myself before God.
Well, hold on. I've never done that. And just because I've never learned those lessons makes me like a worse person.
No. You misinterpret. Because not everyone's the same.
Yeah.
I needed to learn those lessons for me.
Oh, okay.
Because
okay,
I
okay,
used to
okay,
be.
okay. So it's not like you learned lessons that everybody should know, and the only way they can know it is by doing what you did.
Well, no, because I used to be, I used to be a piece of shit.
Yeah,
like
yeah.
you would not, no one in this room would have talked to me back when I was like 22, 23. I was an absolute out of my mind drug addict piece of shit.
Yeah.
Because I didn't learn those lessons growing up because I didn't have healthy adults around me to teach me how to be like a human being.
Right.
So I never learned how to, like, for lack of a better word, be like a man, be like an
Like you're
upstanding
reformed.
citizen. So I was
Yeah.
basically 14 for most of my life mentally. I was like a 14-year-old kid, but with money and access to a car. So then I just did all the stupid shit you would do as a 14-year-old well into my 20s. And so I had to have it go horribly wrong to lower me enough to where I could get in a situation to, like, learn better and fix all that shit.
I understand.
Yeah. But if you didn't, if you weren't mentally trapped at 14, like, well, okay, then you had like a parents that cared about you. Were like, hey, cut that shit out. That's
Gotcha,
probably an easier way to learn that.
Yeah, I didn't have to learn that drugs are bad by doing all the drugs and shit and letting it ruin my life.
But dude, the best thing about Bob was he was a lonely guy. He was like in his 60s, and he used to be fancied himself a rock star. He had like a band that never really went anywhere, but they released like one album that kind of got a little bit of traction.
Yeah.
I gotta look up what the name of the band was. And so he thought it was cool to hang out with us because he smoked weed. So he's like, I want to hang out with like the cool 19-year-olds, which in retrospect, kind of creepy. But he would like invite us over to his house.
Yeah.
And then he would give us the Xanax because he had a prescription. So he would give us Xanax. We'd all be on Xanax and like listen to his new music he was recording. And he'd just play the new music he was recording while on fucking Xanax as we're all smoking weed in his basement. And his wife would come down and be like, Bob, what are you doing down there? I'm like, I'm hanging out with the boys. Go upstairs. Like they just scream at each other. And he would always be wearing a wife beater, gym shorts, and a huge gold chain.
Fuck.
Every day. And this was my boss.
To hang out or at work?
Every minute of every day. And flip-flops.
No. Big gold chain all the time.
I think Bob was like half Italian, half Jewish.
Yeah.
So that was like the vibe. He like really leaned on the Italian side.
Yep.
And then so that was
nuts.
So we would just hang out with
The
Bob.
worst kind.
We would hang out with Bob and just smoke weed with like a 65-year-old man, and he'd give us Xanax. We'd listen to his like shitty 80s rock music he made.
Holy shit.
You don't say which race you were talking about.
It's
Dual races. You go the worst kind.
Which one?
Well, also Bob had a tragic.
Mutes himself again. What time are we at? 56. Okay.
Just
go ahead.
one more thing on Bob because it was a tragic ending.
Yeah, of course.
Because that was a great setup, and then we did that for like 2 years, and then it all came to an end because what happened is Bob also thought like drugs were cool.
Yeah.
Like this guy was loaded. Like he'd been running the scam for a while. We'd been to his house. It was like a big, nice house. He had like several vintage cars, like an old Corvette and like like all the shit boomers buy, like an old Mustang from the 60s.
Yeah.
So he didn't need money. But what he started doing is he started this like business where he took Spice. You remember Spice? It was like the fake weed they sold in gas stations for a while in like the early 2010s. So he would take Spice and he would blend it up and make it into an edible somehow. I don't know how he did it, but he made some edible, and then he would put them in Oreos. And then he had guys that he hired that were like shitheads like us, but like a different group of shitheads, and hire them to go to music concerts, like back when they had Gathering of the Vibes in Bridgeport, and sell the Spice Oreos as weed edibles, even though they were Spice, which is like a bunch of weird chemicals. And apparently someone
They
ate...
still got you high, Spice?
Yeah, but no, the Spice was like bath salts. It would like...
Oh, no.
Yeah.
No, you can't do that.
Yeah.
He's selling them as weed edibles at a fucking music concert?
Because it was not regulated. So some gas stations you get Spice and it would just be like weird weed and feel kind of weird.
Yeah.
But then some Spice was straight up like bath salts. They just mixed a bunch of chemicals in China and put it in a bag. So some kid who was like 19 or whatever ate like 7 or 8 of these Oreos thinking they were weed edibles. Fucking died. And that
Did your guy get in trouble for that?
The last I talked to Bob, when he told me that we had
I'm going to prison.
He's like, boys, we're gonna have to put the operation on hold. We're call centers, not operation. And he's like, we're gonna have to put the operation on hold for a couple months. I just got some legal stuff. He explained the story. I'm like, that's horrible. But why'd you do that? He's like, misunderstanding. And I got some legal trouble I'm dealing with. And I just never heard from him again. And then I called the number like a year or two later. Me and my friends were drunk. They're like, dude, let's call Bob. Because honestly, we wanted to hang out. He's fun. Like we thought, like, we'll just hang out with Bob at the bar. We're in his neighborhood. Number disconnected. And we're like, I think Bob went away. I think Bob's doing some time.
Dude, Bob got stabbed in prison.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for watching this week's episode of You Should Be Worried. My name is Matt. You can find me everywhere at Matty Fucko. Please follow In the Making for a bunch of sketches and content like that. Follow Chris Warren at Chris Warren Comedy on all the social media platforms. DM him if you're a hot lady and you want to talk. And then check out our fucking dates on our social medias. Please like, comment, and subscribe on the channel. On this episode, happy 100 with a little squiggly mark 100.
Asterisk,
about 100. And we're very happy to be here, and we're very thankful. Please leave us a comment, say congrats, and please subscribe. And what, Chris, you have anything else?
No, I'm just.
All
I
right,
love you, boys.
all right, everybody. Everybody have a great fucking week, and we'll see you on the next Wednesday. Goodbye.